Boa noite a todos, sejam bem-vindos aqui à Sociedade de Medicina e Cirurgia de Campinas. É a Casa do Médico aqui em Campinas. E, para quem não nos conhece, eu já gostaria de convidá-los a vir conhecer a Sociedade de Medicina. Estamos fazendo 100 anos. Agora, dia 1º de dezembro, estamos comemorando o nosso centenário. Tá? Um dos escopos maiores, o espírito maior da Sociedade de Medicina sempre foi a ciência. É um pilar sólido que nós temos aqui e que nós fazemos questão de divulgar sempre. Então, a educação continuada e a medicina baseada em evidência só traz mais conhecimento para os nossos médicos e muito mais segurança para os nossos pacientes. Tá? Então, hoje estamos aqui num evento feliz, internacional, né? Estamos recebendo o professor Stephen Scott, do Royal College of London, e temos a doutora GIULIETTA CUCCHIARO, que ela é brasileira, formada aqui na UNICAMP, mas com pós-graduação em Heidelberg, na Alemanha. Então, o evento hoje é internacional. Então, é uma felicidade estarmos aqui hoje e receber esses palestrantes desse nível. Eu felicito o Departamento de Psiquiatria aqui da Sociedade. Aliás, nós temos 44 departamentos científicos e alguns comitês. O comitê, quando ele tem um número adequado, mais de 20, ele passa a ser departamento científico. E nós exploramos ao máximo esse pilar da ciência, né? Tentando expandir conhecimento para os nossos sócios. Mas não só disso a sociedade vive. A sociedade tem eventos sociais, nós temos um clube de campo, e eu convido todos a conhecer. Quem não conhece, quem conhece, estou redundante aqui, mas eu acho que seria interessante. Somos guiados pelo associativismo nos dias de hoje. Se nós não nos unirmos, nós somos presas do sistema. Unidos somos mais fortes. E sem nos unir, e a união só virá pelo associativismo, né? Por isso, aliás, a Sociedade de Medicina e Cirurgia de Campinas é uma das 5 fundadoras da Associação Paulista de Medicina, para quem não sabia. Aliás, na época, tinham 5 cidades: Campinas, Ribeirão Preto, São José do Rio Preto, Santos e Sorocaba. Era a época do café. Então, essas regiões eram privilegiadas economicamente e cresceram nesse aspecto. E aí resolveram essas 5 fundar uma associação estadual, que foi a Associação Paulista de Medicina. Então, a Sociedade de Medicina é a APM aqui em Campinas. Tá? Então, nós somos a APM Campinas, Regional Campinas. Mas, como nós somos mais antigos, a gente preserva o nome da sociedade e junto à Associação Paulista. E depois a Associação Paulista se filiou à Associação Médica Brasileira e o Estado de São Paulo tem um poder, 60% da AMB é a PM, é São Paulo. Mas eu não vou me alongar com historinhas, que hoje é dia de ciência. Então, eu queria passar para a doutora CARMEN, que é do Departamento de Psiquiatria, para ela tomar os trabalhos. Obrigado.
Por conta da emoção e da ansiedade, eu vou ler a minha fala. Fiz uma cópia para o professor Scott, para ele acompanhar. Então, boa noite a todos. Em nome do Departamento de Psiquiatria da Sociedade de Medicina e Cirurgia, é uma imensa alegria recebê-los nesse evento internacional que integra as comemorações do centenário da sociedade. O nosso departamento tem buscado, ao longo dos anos, promover o diálogo entre a ciência, a prática clínica e a formação humana. E esse encontro hoje simboliza exatamente isto: a união entre conhecimento científico e a excelência e compromisso com o desenvolvimento emocional, social das nossas famílias e comunidade acadêmica. É uma honra receber nesta noite o professor Stephen Scott, do Institute of Psychiatry, Psychology and Neuroscience do King's College London, cuja trajetória e rigor científico têm inspirado profissionais em todo o mundo no campo da psiquiatria infantil e da intervenção parental. Quero expressar também o meu reconhecimento ao Dr. Osmar de la Torre e à doutora Karina Barbie, que compõem comigo a coordenação do Departamento de Psiquiatria e do Comitê de Prevenção ao Suicídio da Sociedade de Medicina. A dedicação de ambos é constante na organização das nossas atividades científicas e estendo esse agradecimento a todos os membros psiquiatras do nosso departamento, sendo que também representamos aqui a sociedade regional da ABP, da Associação Brasileira de Psiquiatria. Somos a ABP Campinas. Também agradeço aqui todos os colaboradores, presente o Albert e o Guilherme, e em toda a sociedade, que nos bastidores fazem tudo acontecer. Um agradecimento muito especial à doutora Giulietta CUCCHIARO, cuja sensibilidade e empenho tornaram possíveis esse encontro. Foi por meio da interlocução com o Dr. Scott que essa noite se concretizou. A doutora Giulietta, que também é pesquisadora e estudiosa do tema, compartilhará conosco suas considerações e experiências clínicas sobre estilos parentais e o desenvolvimento emocional infantil, enriquecendo ainda mais esse momento. Então, enfim, desejamos que essa noite seja de muito aprendizado, inspiração e troca, reafirmando o papel da sociedade como espaço vivo de conhecimento, acolhimento e progresso científico. Muito obrigada a todos. Vamos dar início. Seja muito bem-vindo, doutor Scott. Eu gostaria de chamar a doutora Giulietta, doutor Scott, doutor Osmar, doutora Amade, para fazermos uma foto aqui na frente. Pode ser aqui, Giulietta, para sair o nosso logo. Para a gente oficializar, doutor Scott, por favor.
Story of my life. Our story, 100 years old.
We see. I think that's okay. Então, vamos dar início a esse momento emocionante e importante para a sociedade.
In the chair? In the chair?
Yes. No, I will stand up.
Prefere...
You stop. You stop.
Então, eu agradeço aqui a presença do professor Stephen Scott, que veio para o Congresso Brasileiro de Psiquiatria, né, onde fez 3 conferências. E daí, estando aqui, o congresso foi na semana passada, eu convidei para vir para Campinas e compartilhar com a gente as experiências deles sobre parent training, né? E, então, falando um pouco sobre ele, então ele é um professor sobre saúde e comportamento da criança no Instituto de Psiquiatria do King's College of London e chefe da psiquiatria clínica do Hospital Moseley, em Londres. onde ela é especialista em comportamento antissocial, adoção e acolhimento de crianças. Oi? Então, a palestra vai ser sobre dilemas atuais nas práticas parentais, né, prevenindo o comportamento desafiador, opositor. Aqui? Ah, é aqui. Oh, tá. It's this one here. 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 Então, este é um livro que ele escreveu junto com o seu colega psiquiatra infantil, o professor Robert Goodman, né? É um livro-texto sobre psiquiatria infantil, que foi traduzido para várias línguas, inclusive o português do Brasil, pela nossa colega, doutora Bassi Fleitlich, lá da USP, psiquiatra infantil. E que traduziu, acho que muitos conhecem o instrumento DALBA, ou SDQ, do professor Robert Goodman, que foi traduzido pela Bassi para o português. Então, essa é uma foto que mostra que, em 2014, o professor Stephen Scott recebeu uma medalha, né, por toda a sua contribuição, uma medalha chamada CBE, né, Commander of British Empire, né, que é uma medalha concedida pela rainha da Inglaterra e que foi dada para ele pelo príncipe William. Então, gente, olha, a princípio, a gente tinha combinado assim dele falar um pouquinho, eu traduzi em seguida. Mas eu gostaria de saber se está dando para acompanhar desse jeito. Vamos fazer um teste. Às vezes a tradução é meio esquisita, né? Então, ele falou que fazendo um teste, ele falou: eu não consigo cantar como o Caetano Veloso, apareceu Titânio Veloso. Então, aqui. She's saying that I could do a summary. Acho que ele falou assim para tentar ir direto.
Obrigado, Societas. Thank you for inviting me.
Mas tem que falar bem perto e alto.
And thank you, everybody, for giving up your dinner on Monday evening to come. How do I go back? Yeah.
Well, they are asking you to talk.
Louder, yeah. Can I go back?
E como faz para voltar?
Yeah. That's it. Thank you. It wasn't always so easy for me.
Nem sempre foi tão fácil para mim.
I found medicine so boring.
Eu achei a medicina muito chata.
That I stopped it after 3 months.
Então, ele começou a medicina e depois largou, 3 meses depois.
Learning every little hydroxyl group on a Emden-Meyerhof pathway. I thought I'd gone to university to talk about ideas. So I then studied psychology for 3 years. I then followed a girl to Germany for a year. But then I thought, okay, I'll do medicine. And then I failed 2 of the 3 subjects in my first preclinical year. Anyway, so it hasn't always been easy. Could you raise your hand if you are a doctor? Okay. And if you are a psychiatrist. And lastly, if you are a parent. Right. Exactly. Oh, it's not exclusive. It's not exclusive. Yes, and a psychologist. Thank you. Okay. Boom. Yes. So an American called Diana Baumrind did this way of looking at parenting, how much you expect from your child and how much you are involved in their life. So the good parenting is she called authoritative, which is you have expectations, standards, but you're involved, you respond with them. Whereas on the top left, it is military parents, high expectations, but not very concerned. Do this, do this, do that. We are a good family. And in the bottom left, it's kind of neglectful, not very involved with their kids. The kids are running wild. And in the bottom right, it's indulgent. I used to call this Californian. Hey, hang loose, be cool. But we're seeing more of this in the UK now.
Só um momentinho. Esse culling, could you repeat culling? That style, culling, because it was translated as Californian.
Oh, sorry. Relaxed, indulgent. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now, traditionally, if you look at kids who are criminal and so on, who, by the way, in the UK, more than half of criminal young men did not have a father at home. But the harsh, tough parenting, you're so stupid, bad, don't do that. Is that better? Yeah. Not interested, not involved. And one day you can watch TV or play video game, next day you cannot. Changing each day. Oh, sorry, back. Can I go back? Back. Back. Oh yeah, on forward now. Yeah. So, however, in the last, I have an online parenting program called Parenting Matters. And we surveyed 12,000 parents on their style like that. I expected maybe 20% would be relaxed, Californian, indulgent. It was 60%. There is now a fashion for something called gentle parenting. Oh, don't say you have been naughty. Let's talk about it. Why are you feeling so cross? Why do you love your video game so much? Oh, I understand you don't want to go to bed. Very fashionable. But it also leads to little princes and princesses. So you talk to the child like that. Okay. Try the next one. Yeah. So how should we bring up our children then? Okay, be less nasty, less horrible and critical, you stupid. I find it, the parents who were brought up that way themselves find it difficult to change. It's unconscious. This is the way my parents treated me, sometimes even hitting them. So I hit my children. It's obvious. But then I ask the parents, when you were a child and you were hit, how did you feel? Humiliated, angry? So it's not perhaps such the best way to bring your children up. So the answer is to teach them an alternative way to get the child to go to bed, stop playing video games, and so on. More involvement. I'm sure it's the same in Brazil. Now if you're a lone parent, you're working, or both parents are working, You come home, you're tired, you're getting dinner ready, give the child a tablet so he can play on his favorite video game, Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto. So the solution is to have the child with you at the mealtime, go for walks, and we recommend playing just 10 minutes a day. But during that 10 minutes, the child is the center of your attention. You don't say, I'm going to teach you English or French. Just let them play. So, and teaching people calm limits. But I now see parents who want to be there. I want to be your friend. I don't want to be bossy parent. I will never, you're my best friend. I don't want to lose you or lose your love for me. I particularly see this in single parents. They depend on their child too much. Who's in charge? Sometimes the kid is the boss at home. So the solution is to teach parents that children like being contained, and they're more helpful, they have more friends, and they do better in school. And they will still love and respect you. Children do understand that you need to get to school on time, you need to do your homework, and say thank you. So I recently, this summer, published a book about family meals because I thought it was very important. One reason I like coming to your association is because you go between the facts, the realistic on the ground, and the theory, the evidence. How lovely. You're not just arty theories, you like the evidence. So why did I write this book? So there have been some reviews of several studies, controlling for social class and education. If you have between 5 and 7 family meals a week instead of less than 3, less disordered eating, less in teenagers, less alcohol and drug use, less violence, and less depression or thoughts of suicide. And vice versa, they feel better about themselves. They feel they belong to the family. They have an identity. And they do better at school. So that is why I wanted to promote family meals. A lot of parents now, the child will be sitting down, watching TV or playing a game. It's understandable, but it's not helpful. So what are the effects if you do not bring your child up very well? You're more likely to have a defiant child, antisocial. They do not have the skills with their friends. They're more likely, if they're not comforted, they're more likely to get annoyed and angry. And they don't learn as well. The notion of John Bowlby that you should be attached to your parent because you love them, you care, you can tell them what's on your mind. If you're securely attached, you will say, oh, I didn't have a good day at school, somebody was bullying me, and in teenage, this is where I went, not I went to the park and took some drugs. They will tell you if they are securely attached. And if you're not careful, we have a lot of people in England who are giving their kids ultra-processed foods. Is this a thing in Brazil? The microbiome is not very good. And that actually affects the brain, we now know. If you have rubbish little bacteria in your guts, it sends signal, eat more McDonald's. And they're more likely to see smoking and drinking. And actually, I once had a parent, I'm going to say a bad word in English. He brought me his 4-year-old son. He says, I don't fucking understand why he's swearing all the time. He was teaching him bad habits. And we now know that poor parenting affects the brain. If they are very badly, they have smaller amygdala. Their stress hormones are up. Cortisol level is up. And inflammatory markers, C-reactive protein, are higher. So there's some biological effects. So sometimes when I'm trying to persuade politicians to invest in parenting programs, I say the outcomes are bad, they do well, they don't do well. And then I say, and it affects their brain. They say, oh, it's serious then. I think it's serious, whatever your brain is. But okay, so at the more extreme, about 5% of the population have something called oppositional defiant disorder. You should have 4 symptoms in the last 6 months where you often blame other people, refuse to do what you're asked, get argumentative, no, I'm not going to bed now, and you annoy other people. You get angry, you lose your temper easily upset. And this last thing, you're positively nasty. You see someone who can't see you, give them a kick, just because it gives you pleasure, not because you were provoked. This is an English figure, and it's the same in Brazil, 5 or 6% of boys and girls pre-pubertally have it. It's about as common pre-pubertally as emotional disorders in girls, anxiety, depression. Once we get to adolescence, girls double the rate of depression and anxiety. But it's common, that's what I'm saying, it's common. Schizophrenia, 1%. Epilepsy, 1%. This is 5 times commoner. So it is interesting. When I talk to my medical students, I say, okay, so you're one of the naughty kids in the class, 1 or 2 naughty. What do you think is going to happen when they grow up, when they are 25 or 26? What do you think the increased risk of bad things is? Violent offending, heavy drug use, being a teenage parent, leaving school with no exams, and taking money from the government because you're not working. So we have what we call in England an auction. What will you give me? 100% increase risk? Okay. 200% increase? Thank you. 300% increase? But if you look, the risks are up to 500, 600, even 1,000%. Lots of studies show this. This is a study on the South Island of New Zealand. This is not downtown favela in Rio. It's not downtown Chicago. It's the South Island where the main thing to annoy are sheep. So it's not a high-risk environment. So now this is a lifetime approach of the prevalence of antisocial behavior. I think most of us in this room are the blue line at the bottom. We were good boys and girls at school, and we're good boys and girls now. The most worrying are the top ones who start off antisocial and they don't stop. There are some young ones, not everybody who starts antisocial young stays that way, some come down. And there's one other group who start just when they are going through puberty and adolescence. I don't like you, parents. I'm going to hang out with the naughty boys because they are cooler. So the early onset are the ones I'm most worried about. They have more ADHD, they are less IQ, they're more irritable, and they're more likely, if they live in poverty and have harsh discipline and family stress. And the two interact, which I will show you. Oh, sorry, I think did I miss one? Can I go back one? Oops, that's it. So the adolescent onset, it's when they go into puberty, they want to be cool and with the gang, and they have this adult body, but they're still expected to go to school and do boring things instead of going around and working like an adult. And it can be fun to be a bad boy or girl. But usually when they become adults, they calm down. Particularly if their partner, their boyfriend or girlfriend is social, that helps them stop being naughty. And this is an old study in the UK, but the ones, the worst 5%, cost society at least £250,000. So that is 2 million reals by the time they are 20. Criminal costs, unemployment, not paying taxes, and so on, educational needs, health, they have more accidents. And this is, I think, not a very good for your health to die. By the time they are 57, they have a much increased chance of dying, car accidents, drug use, heart attacks. So I'm going to make a case that it would save society money to try and stop this. Okay, what causes antisocial behavior? Outside, poverty, neighborhood. There's some evidence that playing violent video games with these vulnerable kids is not so good. I mentioned Call of Duty, where you see old ladies, you shoot them. Grand Theft Auto, the police steal cars. You run over policemen, you steal cars. This is not a good role model. Children who are irritable. CU is this new thing, callous, unemotional. These are heartless children. I'll say a bit more about them. Low IQ, ADHD, bit of autism, and something called deviational anxiety. This is a psychologist concept that you feel bad. Oh, I'm doing wrong. I have a friend, and if I drive with her, if I am driving at 43 kilometers an hour in a 40-kilometer area, oh, Stephen, that's very bad. Even if there is nobody there, she does not like being deviant. Whereas me, I couldn't care less. And we've mentioned parenting. So, a lot of children who are a bit naughty at all, they'll grow out of it. It won't persist. But some of them become like this. Football, of course. We want them to grow up to be happy and not to be like this. This is kicking. This was a riot in London, not anywhere else. It happens in London too. So this is a complicated slide, but it's important. So this is a study from Sweden where they looked at children taken into public care and adopted, whether birth parents were criminal or alcoholic. And then they looked at their adoptive parents. You would think they'd all be fine, but some of them also were criminal or alcoholic. The social worker did not do a very good job. So if we start with these ones, good genetics, if you like, not criminal, and good, the adoptive parents were not criminal either or alcoholic. This is the number who are known to the police by 17, just 3%. Now, what happens if you have biological parents who are criminal or alcoholic, but you were brought up in a good family? It's 12%. When I was young, I was shocked. I thought our behavior was just socially determined, not genetically determined. Then, if you have, okay, birth parents, but your adoptive parents are criminal or alcoholic, yes, that leaves double the rate. But this is the boom, bang. 40% if God has given you two bad cards, birth parents and adoptive parents. These irritable kids are then brought up badly. And if in my clinic, they will mostly be like this. But in one way, it's an optimistic picture because if you can improve the parenting, you can bring them down there. So you can do a lot of good with these children. So genetics is important as well as environment. What are the subtypes? With Robert Goodman, my colleague did a study. The normal naughty kids, oppositional, more likely to become criminal. The irritable ones, they get angry very quickly. But they say sorry once they've calmed down. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So that makes them easier to love. And finally, the ones I was mentioning before, callous, unemotional. These are the ones who are nasty, really. I'll say a bit more about them. So, unlike children with autism, they understand, but they don't care. They just don't care. They can be charming. They make good salespeople. They'll sell you a very nice washing machine or a car, even if they know it's too expensive for you. They can even become president of the USA. When we put an ECG and measures on them and give them frightening, here's a line, you and me, ooh, our heart rate goes up. They stay calm. They do not have a fear response. So I once gave a talk like this in Washington, and afterwards a military man came up and said, these guys make fantastic soldiers. They're happy to kill bad people, and when they're under machine gun fire, they stay very calm. We like them. But they don't do so well. And something I find, again, extraordinary about the genetics, they're 80% heritable, 0.8 in identical versus fraternal twins, 80% inheritance, whereas normal antisocial behavior is mostly environmental. So I see some kids from very good families who are like this because they've just been made that way. And they are quite a worry. So this is their amygdala there. That's a bit of the brain called the amygdala. And you can see blue is less activity. If you like, that's where the conscience lies. And that's down. Okay, so how are we going to help? Operant theory, oops, hang on a sec. Can we go back one? Sorry. Back one.
In this case,
Can we
it's
go
not so much the pace.
Back. Yes. When I was about 12, I remember learning in algebra 2 pluses make a plus. Plus and minus is minus. Minus and plus is minus, but 2 minuses make a plus. Why? So if you give a child lots of attention, they're more likely to do it next time. Well done for sitting quietly and listening to my talk. I really like it. Then you're more likely to do it. You did such a good job eating neatly. That's really good. And we say children need to have clear instructions. Because if you just say stop, 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 I've stopped, but I haven't learned good behavior. So it's okay to say, don't eat so messily and put your food on the floor. Okay, but then what is the behavior you want? Please keep your peas on the fork. When you go and see your grandmother and she has all these ugly glass vases, you could say, stop running. Okay, stop. But what's the behavior you want to see? Please walk really calmly, just like Cristiano Ronaldo coming out on the football match. So you need to program children what you do want and then say, good job. If you remove something, again, they're less likely to do it again. I'm sorry, you haven't had your bath. I'm taking away your tablet or even your mobile phone just for 24 hours. If you give them something unpleasant, they're less likely to repeat it next time. For example, withdrawing your attention or love temporarily or putting them into timeout. But this is the difficult one, removing something unpleasant. So I say, the Carmena, stop it. Stop playing with your video. Oh, I like it. I'm on level 53. I'm playing with my friend online. But it's bedtime. No, I'm not going to. No, I'm really. Oh, all right. So I back down as a parent. But for the child, this negative thing of me saying do that has gone. The child is, what are they going to do next time? Be more likely. Carmen is going to find that if she shouts, she wins. And so without understanding it, parents can be training their children to become little monsters at worst. So this is negative reinforcement. So let's see now, before I start, I would like you to look, I don't know, Giulietta, if you need, or whether to say what the mother says, but this mother is with a child teaching him a difficult game, but I would like you to think of the number of commands she gives, do this, do that, don't do that, as a ratio to the number of praises she gives. Well done, good job. So let's try and count them. Maybe I'll say.
In this case, it's not so much the pace of the activity that's the problem, it's that the ideas are simply too advanced for the child's age.
Take all the pieces out, Darren. Take all the pieces out like this and put them all over here on this side. That's it. All the pieces out. Let's play this game. Okay? No, let's not put them over our ears. They're not for putting over our ears, they're for a game. Let's take all the pieces out. Okay? You've got a few more to take. Fine. Now can we put this box over there? We don't want that in our way. Right here. Put it right there. There we are.
Here, the parent has a specific idea about the right way to play noughts and crosses, but the child is still exploring. What do you think will happen?
Now, dear, let's put the box away. We're going to learn how to play noughts and crosses. Look, noughts and crosses is right here. Right here. Look. Do you want the crosses or the noughts?
Noughts.
You want to be the noughts. Okay.
Away.
Okay, now look, it's my turn next, Darren. It's my turn. When you put a nought in there, look, Mummy gets to put a cross in just here. Okay, a cross right here. Now you put a nought in, Darren. Try to put it in so it makes either a straight line this way. No, wait, it's my turn. Now look, I'm going to put a cross in there so you can't make a straight line. Can you see another place to put a nought in so it makes a straight line of noughts? No, these are my crosses. You can't have these. Put a nought in. No, these are crosses. These are Mummy's.
They're mine.
No, these are mine. You can't have these. You can't have these. Here's a nought for you. If you put it in here, that'll start making a straight line.
No.
Come on, I want to teach you how to play this game. Look, I'll put the nought in for you. Darren, come back. I'm playing with this toy, okay? Now, Mummy wants to teach you this game. Come on, I've got this special time now to teach you this game, and I want to teach you this game. Yes, come on. Look, let me show you what happens. If you put all the noughts in a row like that, you'd win. Isn't that great?
No.
You'd win. You don't want to play with this game,
What do you think the
In
ratio
this case, it's
What do you think the ratio was of commands to encouragement? Maybe 10-1 or something. Yeah. All right. So that was her behavior. What was the child's concentration on the task? The enjoyment? At once he went, oh, stop this, Mummy. And then he almost had a little fight with her. And then he went off. Imagine if psychologically he was 14, it would be stronger than his mother. So that was her behavior and his behavior. What was he learning? If this is all the time, nothing I do can please my mother. What was she thinking? He's a little bastard, just like his father. And the final thing would be, what could she do differently? I would ask parents. Be a bit more encouraging, say, oh, you've put it over there. One mother said to me, I'm going to say something inappropriate. Oh, he will become gay if he wears earrings. But it's okay for the child to explore. So now let's look at the same mother and the same child, again doing something that he doesn't really understand, but notice the number of times now she praises him. 5 minutes later, she is acting, and see what the child's behavior is. Okay. Oh, okay, it didn't work, doesn't matter. So she gives him a lot more praise and he is enthusiastic. He stays on task. I'm sorry, this video is not working. No, don't worry, it wasn't that. So now I want to give you an example of a punishment called timeout. That means timeout from positive encouragement. This child is very badly behaved. He is the prince at home. His parents do not want to set a limit. They can do it. He's in my clinic, and you will see he's kicking everything. He's trashing it. So you will see.
Sometimes, if the toy or task is too advanced for the age level of the child, the experience can be very frustrating. In the next few scenes, watch what the parents do to anticipate and to avoid frustration, and still help their children learn to problem solve.
Okay. Oh, now that's a tough one. You're doing a good job. Now, how about this? Let's find another 2 more pegs. Look down here. See if it fits here, Darren. See if it fits in there. How can you make that fit? Turn it around and around. Good job. Try again, it will fit. Just try it again. Makes red on your fingers, doesn't it? Good for you. That was a hard one. Try that one on this one. It has 4 holes. In here, 4 pegs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's a hard one because this one has 3 holes. It goes right here. Good. Count the holes. You don't want to count the holes? Okay. Did we drop any on the floor?
Yeah.
Can you get them?
Oh,
How many holes does that one have? Look at the holes. It only has 1, doesn't it? Can you see 1 peg all by itself? Can you see 1 peg all by itself, Darren? Look, I think it goes on this one. There. Nice job. That one has 4 holes. Almost. Try 1 more. 1 more down. Try this one, Darren. That's not easy, is it? There. Last one. Try that one. Turn it around. Turn it around. And around some more. We can't make holes where there aren't any. Turn it around some more. It needs to go around 1 more time. You just keep trying, don't you?
So he still doesn't understand it, I think, but she's much more encouraging. And look at him. It's not fun, but he is completely engaged. So this is the same child 5 minutes later. So I want to put it to you, this shows that the way you interact with the child, moment to moment, makes a difference. Okay, so the next one is this very difficult child who you will see destroying my clinic. And you'll see it. Who picks up the cushions? The father, not the boy. So I do put him into timeout. His parents were very relaxed, a bit indulgent. And so we put him on a chair. This is a bit distressing. He will cry. He has to be quiet for 1 minute before they will take him out. But you'll see a younger me doing this. And then afterwards, once we've got him under control, we encourage the play with his father, which you will see. Okay. Should we?
Not. Because again. Right, okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take your shoes off so that if you kick, then you'll know how hard it is, okay? I'm not heavy on this.
Well, kick it. I will not.
Do you say you're going to stop kicking it?
Let's only throw the ball out the window. That's what I do.
Taking longer because you won't help me. In fact, the job's taking even longer because you're pulling it out while I'm putting it down. Right. Can you go on that cushion, please? Because I'm going to put one down there. Oh, no, that was blue chair. Do you remember? I said. Lawrence, I'm giving you one more chance on it. No, I don't put the shoes on. Right.
So this is not hurting him, it's just holding him on the chair. And I'm encouraging the mother not to give up. So he was quiet for 1 minute, but he now has to tidy up. Go down to eye level, hold his hand, and take him.
Need a moment.
So now with the play phase.
Well, if you see anyone,
If I see anybody stuck up in a helmet, I'll let you know.
oh, let's just try and find some other cool models.
Food suits.
There we go.
Now, what's a food suit? Does it have to have clean?
No, it needs the kind of like teenage bullshit.
Now with the father.
Forward. In the head. Thinking that pretty well.
I have a bug in his ear. I'm instructing the father how to do this.
My nose. Got my nose.
Give him a cuddle.
Good stuff.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too. Good fun together. Oh, he's got my nose again.
So now they're reflecting. He said, I'm the best mum in the world. Oh, please.
He's not God. And I'm not God.
Or the devil.
Or the devil.
He's not God.
Yeah.
He's not the devil.
Yes.
It's great. He's accepting that I can say what I want him to do.
I can say what I want.
Yeah. I mean, I think we both recognise that he's come a really long way, and we've come a long way as well.
He has come a long way.
Was
We
it
have
2
come a long
weeks
way.
now? No, 2 weeks ago, that's 40 minutes of
It was.
In 2
restraint,
weeks.
yeah, and
But for me, that's I think the best thing, a way of showing him that I am strong without.
So this was quite rapid, and it sometimes I'm told that I'm just using behavioral methods, but see how it led to the growth of love. this boy said, "I love you, Dad." So it can work. So then, okay, so that I can say that, would it work in bigger numbers if I did a trial, having a parenting group of, these are seriously antisocial kids, the worst 1, 2, 3%. And it's an American program, 3 weeks of how to play with your child, then 3 weeks of giving them praise and rewards, maybe giving them a chart, a reward chart, then how to set a limit with consequences, and then, if necessary, time out. So the control group is in the background. These are standard deviations above the mean, the worst about 5% of the population. You can see that 6 months afterwards, it was good. I was worried that a year later, the parents would have forgotten and the antisocial behavior would continue, but it didn't. It stayed down. So that was encouraging. I've just recently, 2 months ago, published a paper showing it affects the brain. This is the more positive parenting before and after leads to better insular activity and amygdala as well, actually. And likewise, if those who did more smacking and physical punishment, insular activity went down. So this is the conscience center, if you like. So it affects the brain as well. We then followed them up for between 7 and 10 years when they were teenagers. The control group by now had standard British child and adolescent clinic things, talk to the parents, maybe a bit of individual therapy with the child. Oppositional defiant disorder diagnosis, about 50% in the standard treatment and about a little more than 20% in R1s. This is something called the antisocial personality screening device. This is these kids who show callous, unemotional, heartless behavior that reduced. The children themselves said, yeah, I'm a bit nicer at home. I go to bed more often on time. And I was struck by this, that the reading age of the children, because the parents said they will sit down and do homework now. They were doing better academically. What about the school behavior? I was thinking, I don't know if you have this in Brazil, you have yogurt advertisements. You drink the yogurt and flowers break out in your stomach. You become a good person. So I thought these kids would become good everywhere. They didn't say there was much difference whether they would kick another pupil, whether they would break the rules at school. It was no difference according to the teacher. According to the young people themselves. And the teacher didn't see any difference on Robert Goodman's strength and difficulties. So I was disappointed. But then I went into, okay, well, can we teach the same methods to teachers? So, oh, sorry, this isn't showing very well, but I did a trial in Jamaica, which is quite a violent country, where we measured the most antisocial 3 kids in a class and taught the teacher the same things. Well done, Giulietta, for working hard. I really like it. Oh, I'm sorry, if you misbehave, you'll go to the back of the class. Staying calm, but being consistent. And it got a good effect size. We then did a huge trial with 2,000 pupils where we measured everybody in the class. Smaller effect size because most of the pupils were not antisocial. And we then did a huge study, 6,000 kids in secondary schools, anti-bullying. It reduced the bullying. So my moral is you can help things at school as well. British teachers are getting more and more concerned that they're having to become the parents, that the children come a little wild, not ready for school, but they are expected to look after them. Okay, so that was the more clinical ones. What about everyday life? So I went into 8 schools in a poor part of London, and we screened them, and we took the worst 40%, so not particularly difficult. And I thought we would also teach the parents how to read with their children. I thought if I go into the school and say, hi, you've filled in this questionnaire, your child is probably going to become a drug dealer, not very engaging. But if we said, would you like to learn how to do what the teachers do and make your child even better and have them happier at home? They said yes. So actually, of the parents who could come on the day, I went into the schools and did it, 2/3, 67% came. So there's a lot of motive in the parents. You're not doing things to them. They want this. What is more important than the next generation? So now this is, one moment, this is a mother in week 6. She has 2 twins, Nathan and Nathaniel. Nathan is a joy, you will hear her saying. Nathaniel, even mentioning his name, watch out, the other mothers will say. This is a mother's group. I'm not very good at getting dads. I need to work on this. And what would you like to see improved? Everything. Well, we can't do everything. What's one thing? Well, he has tennis shoes, which come in very muddy. The carpet is white, and he leaves his dirty marks. So let's just make it, he has to hang up his tennis shoes. And then make a chart on the refrigerator. He has to do it not perfectly, but 3 days in the week. And he will put a star on the chart. And when they've done it, he will have a reward. And she wanted his brother to have a reward too. We suggest not expensive, no money rewards. Walk in the park, go swimming, play football. She wanted to take them to McDonald's. Well, that was her choice. So let us see what she says. She was given this instruction. Now this is next week. How did it go?
I don't shout at him no more. I don't run and rave at him no more. I will just look.
What a frightening look.
Nathan is a joy. And Nathaniel is. Nathaniel is explode every time you mention his name, isn't it? Oh, that's when they get together. When Nathan and Nathaniel get together, watch out. Watch out. Can I take you back to the sneakers or the trainers? He's done a wonderful thing. Yeah. He's been pushing them, praising him, I hugged him, I kissed him. Then he goes over and did it. But he did it. Excellent. He done it and he goes, I don't want no stinking stars. I'm going to draw my smiley face. Excellent. Smiley face. Big smile. And I said, good boy. Solid, I said to him. Can I go to McDonald's now? This is me. I need one more stuff. And they had their McDonald's yesterday. So he accepted the one more stuff. Well, listen, this is a miracle. She's something for a week. It's a movement. That's good. Keep on. Now, do you understand why we said one minute? Well, actually, it's not even just the sneakers. When he put the trainers away, he also hung up his clothes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Miracle. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Miracle don't come close. You know what I mean? I just sat there and I explained to Leslie and the family done the same thing. The task were to put their trainers away. All right? Oh, you said it's task for both of them as well. Okay, I understand. Right, because you try and eat.
So this mother I found a bit frightening. She admitted she had hit her child. But you notice she said, I praised him, I hugged him, which is new for her. You also see that actually he didn't just hang up his tennis clothes, he hanged up the rest of his clothes. He gets generalization. And I think this mode of therapy, some family therapies, you start with the head to think what you will do, and then you behave differently. This one starts off with behaving differently, but you notice her attributions about the boy. It's a miracle. He achieved something for a week. So she no longer sees this boy as bad. So when it works well, this is good. So the other thing is that children lose their reading skills during the summer. So encourage people to read with their children during the summer. This is a spontaneous photo of some boys who look a little like me. So during this trial, a year later, control group again in the red bars, not getting any better. This is the antisocial behavior reducing. ADHD symptoms are improved by good parenting practice. In the UK, the first line of treatment for ADHD is a parenting program. Second, stimulant medication, methylphenidate, etc. And this is one I'm rather happy with. The control group are in the background. These are now 6-year-old children. Notice the teachers are doing a good job. The green bars are getting better. Their reading age compared with their chronological age. But if they go through our program and read with their kids, their reading age. So this is important. These are kids in a poor area. We're trying to give them the best start in life to get them out of the ghetto, if you like. So far so good. What about adolescence? There are some American programs which show fantastic results in America. Functional family therapy, multisystemic therapy. However, the people sell them for money, and the trials have been with the program developers. So we did an independent trial. First of all, functional family therapy here, plus management as usual against management as usual on its own. 111 young offenders. Follow up at 6 and 18 months, police records, self-report, direct observation. You can't see in red, nada, no effect. Very disappointing. And we were supervised by Jim Alexander, the originator of functional family therapy. So the intervention quality was good. Next, we did a trial of something called multisystemic therapy for young offenders. Big trial, nearly 700 people. Again, Scott Hengler, developer of Monthly, supervised us every week. 6 months and now at 5 years, nothing, no effect. So I'm a bit more pessimistic about using parenting programs for adolescents. Maybe we need peer group things with other young people helping them. But by this time, they're out of the reach of their parents. Okay, finally, during lockdown, we could not do this face-to-face work, so I developed the online parenting program, Parenting Matters. And in theory, it should help because the parent doesn't have to come to a clinic. They can do it in the evening. They don't have to travel. And if there is a bit of shame, it's private. They don't have to admit to their difficulty. Certainly as a man, I know my parenting is perfect. It's a bit like my driving. That's pretty good too. We don't like criticism about these things. And it could be much cheaper. If it's unsupported, not much money at all, 600 reals or something. If it's supported, still cheaper than face-to-face. So we developed this thing on the left. It's called love. I call it love and limits. You need both the love and you need the limits. And so on this program, we have little videos. Parents write their responses. There's a community where they can share ideas. We've just finished a controlled trial of that. And when it is supported, it works. With a clinician ringing them up or doing a video call each week for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. But if you don't support it, nobody finishes it. It's a bit like me and a diet online or exercises. You stop after a few minutes often. So these things need to be encouraged and supported like anything else. So finally, I want to make you think about, it was big in UK, now it's going down. If we wanted to introduce parent training in Campinas, how would we argue? I want to say it's good for prevention. Can you identify it by the age of 7? Yes. Can you identify who will be depressed as an adolescent? Not really, not when they're young. Does it continue in not stopping? Yes. Behavior problems. Depression goes up and down. It sometimes gets better spontaneously. Does it cost a lot of money? Behavior problems, yes. Actually, some kids who are anxious do very well at school. Cost to society very high, yes. Do we have long-lasting effective treatment? Behavioral training, yes. Depression, often it comes back. If you stop antidepressants, it comes back. And is the impossible of treating them late? That's impossible in behavioral depression. You can, even when you're 25, 30, 40, you can give some late treatment. So I want to say it's a good candidate for public health, not just child psychiatrists or something. Maybe pediatricians should be interested, and maybe the public health department should be interested. So in England, we talk about Cinderella. Cinderella services are left out. I want to take her to the ball, to the party. I want antisocial behavior to become more interesting to people. It's almost stopped in children's mental health services in the UK, despite the fact we have effective treatments. I'm very disappointed. The World Health Organization recently published guidelines on parenting interventions, to prevent maltreatment and enhance parent-child relationships. So this is acceptable for so-called developed countries, although we are not developed in the UK, about this middle-income countries and low-income. So it's recommended. So we need to think how to get people involved. So last of all, I think if I go to a shop in London or indeed in Campinas, there are lots of magazines about which car to buy. How good are they? What's more expensive? What's more effective? New family cars. I want to educate parents to decide. I think children are probably more important than cars. So what can we do? I want to educate them. What parenting program? Parents with room for the kids, not the car with room for the kids. Beat rip-off services, the ones that aren't any good. And actually, what you can't see there is we developed a website where local authorities and parents can see which ones have evidence to show they work. So, thank you very much.
Queria agradecer muito ao professor Scott pela brilhante apresentação, agradecer mais uma vez a Giulietta por nos permitir a presença do professor, e queria abrir para as perguntas. Acho que é importante a gente aproveitar aqui a presença da Giulietta, que pode traduzir, né, fazer a versão das perguntas para o inglês. Então, fiquem à vontade. Vamos começar.
Agora eu vou ter que traduzir? Ai, ai, ai.
Obrigada, doutora Scott. Foi brilhante sua apresentação. Eu queria perguntar.
Thank you. It was brilliant, your presentation.
Eu queria perguntar sobre a gente no Brasil procura psiquiatra para medicação. Então, é maravilhoso que você mostre o treinamento parental. se você tem algum trabalho que compare medicação com treinamento parental.
She said that here parents go to the psychiatrist thinking about medication. So she was very happy to see that you showed also the parent training, helping children. And she wants to know if there's a study which compares parent training with children receiving medication. É isso, Mariana?
We have a guideline institution called National Institute for Clinical Excellence, which writes treatment recommendations.
Eles têm instituto. Tá.
And I chaired it, so I have an interest, but we do not recommend medication for antisocial behavior. There's not much evidence. If you give them antipsychotics, they are zombies. So it's not effective. If they have ADHD, then stimulant medication like methylphenidate, dexamphetamine can help. But in the absence of ADHD, there is no medication. It doesn't help. Having said that, I make a difference in children with autism. So there is an English word if you say, I want to play my game, that I call a tantrum, just bad behavior. But some autistic children are so sensitive, they will get very emotionally upset. It's what I call a meltdown. I don't know what the Portuguese word is. So sometimes if they're very, very sensitive, I will give them a really low dose of aripiprazole, 1 or 2 milligrams. The adult dose for schizophrenia is 30 milligrams. And it can help a lot. But I mean, I suppose I want a public campaign. In World War I in Britain, we had posters saying, your country needs you. Join the army. I want posters saying, your child needs you. I want to ask you whether in Brazil, people realize what a big difference parents make. They didn't in England. In my parents' generation, we had an expression, children should be seen, but not heard. They shouldn't really speak up. So this notion of having sensitive responding is fairly new, but I don't know how it is in Brazil. Do people understand what a difference it makes? That's point one. And point two, I'm so old, I think you would have posters or video things on the road, but in fact, we would need a TikTok influencer, wouldn't we? Although,
Giulietta, se você puder ver a pergunta online.
Tá tão pequenininho. Thank you.
children and screens.
Eu vou traduzir, então. Obrigada.
It's children and screens, Giulietta.
Hã?
Children and screens. Generally, it's not so much the screen is doing damage, but when the child spends time on the screen, they are not seeing their friends or their parents. The surveys in Britain are quite a lot of children are spending 4, 5, 6 hours a day on a screen, sometimes more at the weekend. And it's helpful if you've got to clean the house or do the cooking, giving them the tablet, it's easy. So in the book I was talking about eating together, we say, get the child to help you cook. Help them go around the supermarket, they can choose whether it's going to be meat or vegetables or pasta, and then get them to help you cook. They will make a mess, okay, but get them involved. So your everyday, they can help you clean the house even a little bit. So involving them more in the life and less in the screens. I am a bit old school. I recommend during school days only 1 hour on video games. a day, weekends maybe 2 or 3, and we now are getting apps which only let them go on a screen or their mobile phone in the common space in the living room, because they might go to their bedroom and say, oh, I'm researching my homework, but they may not be researching their homework. They may be playing a game. So I think how you supervise screen time is quite important. And again, if they break the rules, taking it away for a short time, 24 hours is enough, but being quite clear about the boundaries and the consequences. Ooh. I think that was what I was talking about. I agree.
Hi. I really loved your presentation, and posso, desculpa.
Yeah.
Eu amei a apresentação, né? Sua apresentação. Ai, desculpa. Desculpa, doutor. Eu falei que eu adorei a apresentação do doutor. Nossa, peraí. Eu adorei a apresentação do doutor. É muito interessante, porque eu sou diferente de vocês, eu sou psicóloga, e esse é um trabalho que eu faço há muitos anos, de orientação parental, e com essa população eu recebo, né, eu não atendo mais criança, eu atendi muita criança com transtorno antissocial, né, com transtorno de conduta, né, e eu acho que faz muita diferença, sabe? Você dá orientação para os pais. Hoje eu dou orientação para pai, mas não atendo mais criança. O que eu queria saber do doutor é: você considera o transtorno de antissocial dentro do TOD, do transtorno opositor desafiador? É isso?
But
Tudo isso?
the translation has got...
Sorry. Posso? Eu falo inglês. I said was very good, excellent presentation. I'm a psychologist and I work with parent training. I'm a behavior psychologist. So I do reinforcement and punishment, and I teach my my clients to do that. I used to have children as clients, so I used to do a lot of this work with antisocial behavior children, and they were very good results. And I don't work with children anymore, but I still do parent training. So it's a very different, it makes a lot of difference. Now I have parents that I'm helping. They have a child that is 8 years old, and they are with me, I think, 3 months now. And the children, he was having a lot of trouble in school, and the school was saying, oh, we don't want him anymore, and giving notes and saying, oh, he slapped a girl in school. And now all the children, they were talking to the mother and say, he's great, he's excellent. So the work of parent training, it's excellent. And I think it would help a lot of people if they knew how to do it. And I really believe in behavior psychology. So, sorry, I'm a little nervous. I've lived in England for a year in Bournemouth, so I could speak better. But I think
this could really change everything if the people could really do parent training. And this is, I have this couple that I help now, but I also have help my clients that have children. So that's part of my work every day. And I think you can, and I've seen a lot of people, a lot of children that they're like really the worst children. And they become really nice children. So it's great. There is this one girl and she said, "You saved my life." So I think it's great. I'm sure I've read some of your work when I was at school at college. So I think it's really great. And my question is, do you think that, I don't know if I understood well, but what I understood is that you believe that antisocial behavior is inside TOD, how to say, ODD. Is that right?
Oh yeah, I use the terms interchangeably.
Yeah, because when they came, they said he has ODD, and I said, "Oh, I've seen this before. It looks like anti-behavior."
Well, there is a debate whether you should use this label. There was a lot of concern that you would be stigmatizing the child. But I have a colleague in Australia, Mark Dads, who's shown the parents are quite pleased to understand a condition and that you can get rid of it. You don't have to, it's not a fixed character trait. So I have...
It's the ODD.
Yeah, but ODD and antisocial behavior are exactly the same thing.
Oh, that's what I was.
So,
because
thank you.
I think they're happier with ODD because it looks nicer. Maybe.
Yes, it's less of a nasty characteristic. But so you have endorsed the value of parent training here in Campinas. And I'm wondering when we should tell parents about this. So the time parents are interested are, one, when they are pregnant. When my children were young, well, when my then wife was pregnant, I went to antenatal classes. A lot about do not let the evil doctors do a cesarean section. A lot on putting a TENS machine on their back and massaging. Do you want to give birth underwater? Nothing about looking after the child after they were born. Absolutely nothing. In the trial that I did in schools, the time I went to talk in England, before you start school, you go in June, we start in September. You find out what the clothes you should wear, which book bag you should buy, which tennis shoes you should buy. So the head teacher said, "Okay, Stephen, you can have 10 minutes to talk about your program." They were really interested. So I think there are certain times in children's lives when parents are more interested. And I wondered whether Brazilian parents might be more interested at these times.
In my experience, the school is more interested when we have a lot of problems with. So sometimes when I was helping children and they were like breaking schools, they were like, "Oh, come here, have a coffee. We like you. We're going to do everything that you tell us."
Oh. Thank you.
Agora nós temos uma pergunta que vem diretamente da Espanha. A professora Cibele Passos é psicóloga e aliada aqui do nosso departamento. Fizemos vários eventos juntos sobre a questão do desenvolvimento comportamental da criança e sobre telas. Então, eu queria que ela fizesse a pergunta e comentasse um pouquinho sobre o nosso trabalho aqui e os eventos que já fizemos juntos. Obrigada, Cibele. A gente não está te ouvindo, Cibele. Espera um pouquinho, eles estão ajeitando o som aqui, você já repete.
Agora sim? Me escutam?
Agora sim, ok.
Estava no silencioso. Thank you, Dr. Scott, about your presentation. It's very good. It's fascinating. I developed a therapy method for digital detox. And after removing screens from my patients over the course of 6 months, several diagnoses and up being ruled out, included oppositionist defiant disorders. Have you also observed this reality?
I'm not quite sure. These are detox from drug misuse. Oh,
Screens.
screen detox. Have I observed that after they've come off screens, they got worse or better? Yeah. Oh, definitely. And it is, you can almost use the word addictive about screens because we are biologically programmed to look around. It's a good thing to do. If a lion is coming into the room, you shouldn't be reading a book. You should run. So we are very responsive to stimuli, especially if you have ADHD. And screens are giving you all these lovely stimuli compared with boring mummy or daddy. This is much more exciting. Dun, dun, the music goes on, bang, bang, you kill some people or you build something. It actually stimulates bits of the brain, has a huge dopamine rush. So you're right. They are really, it is almost addictive, and very interested to hear about your experience that if you can do the digital detox, I like that the behavior will get better, but also it means that you have more time to create an attachment with the child, to get the child to like you because you're being nice with them.
Thank you.
Hi, doctor. I would like to answer your question. You asked us a little bit before. Vou falar em português depois, tá? A little bit before what kind of what Brazilian parents think about parental interventions. We have excellent ones in here too. And Brazilian parents are extremely open to it. Que os pais brasileiros gostam da intervenção parental. A gente tem alguns programas aqui. At UNICAMP, we have a program that is completely directed to parental training. Everything that we do is related to parental training. It is for autism, though, but everything that we created over there is for training the parents how to work with the children, and the results are really good. So, os pais brasileiros gostam, querem, e a gente tem intervenções parentais na UNICAMP feitas para isso.
Great. So now my instruction to you is to make it, have a version of it that's available for everybody who doesn't have autism, just universal.
Yeah.
I have a program for autism which we call predictive parenting, which the autistic children like to know what is happening next, as you know.
Like predictability.
Yeah,
so
exactly. But I'm hoping you can adjust it and then market it.
I hope that too. We just need the funding.
Yeah. Yeah. I by the way, I don't want to make money, but I tried to sell my Parenting Matters program to the public. They won't buy it. They can get so much with AI and online for free. So it has to go through a charity or social services or a government agency. It's a pity, but that's how it is. My latest hope is before it crashes that I can sell it to companies, because in Britain, banks and insurance, they give an employee benefit for adults of counseling for depression, but at the moment they do not give a parenting program. So if you know any companies that would like to buy a parenting program, tell
I'll
me.
let you know. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. I have two questions. The first one is...
Should it be in Portuguese?
Ok. Obrigado. A primeira questão, eu tenho duas perguntas para fazer. A primeira é que o senhor falou que não é um programa recomendado, não tem muita resposta para adolescentes. Então, eu queria saber, assim, até mais ou menos qual idade que foi vista a resposta. para esse treinamento. E uma outra questão que eu queria saber se existe uma comparação também entre uma intervenção individual e essa intervenção com os pais, porque normalmente a gente acaba vendo que os pacientes são encaminhados para uma intervenção individual e às vezes os pais ficam de lado ou acaba fazendo uma intervenção parental dentro da intervenção individual. So I have two questions for you. The first one is what kind of the range of the age that you recommend to do the parent training, because you said that adolescents, the program doesn't work so well. And the second one is that in Brazil here we see many kids going to individual intervention, and the parent training come inside of the individual intervention with psychologists. And I want to know if you have compared the individual intervention with parent training and the results of it. Thank you.
Thank you. So when you say individual, do you mean with the child individually? Yeah. So you said you did some work with them. There is some evidence on so-called anger management programs, sort of CBT, teaching the child, don't react immediately, calm down, give them a little rubber band to ping, whatever little things will just divert their behavior as an alternative behavioral strategy rather than getting very angry very quickly. We make the distinction with the children. It's okay to feel angry. It's not okay to be aggressive. And that can help. I have less experience of that because I've had such good experience of parent training. In that trial, I showed you the 10-year follow-up results. The control group were getting some individual therapy, not so evidence-based. It might be generally counseling, psychotherapy, which I think can be very helpful for identity problems. It can be helpful for depression, not so helpful for this problem, general understanding. The other thing I would say is, so I had thought the results would be better starting young. I go from 2 till about 12, 2, 3, 4. We recently published a meta-analysis, so-called individual participant data. We harmonized trials with about over 1,000 kids, and it was just as effective up to the age of 12. So adolescence, I mean, my personal experience is you can have some good results with adolescents, but they need to feel they want to identify with the parents. This is where a father figure is useful, because if they don't have that, and there are some bad boys and there is a gang, they identify. And so the father of social learning theory, Gerald Patterson in Oregon, put little microphones on antisocial adolescents, and he showed that they reward each other for antisocial behavior. I saw this guy, I hit him. Oh, wow, that was cool that you hit him. And I know how to break into a car with these new things, deactivate the tracker, use these, get the keys, electronic keys, and steal a car. Oh, that's really good, cool. So they develop a personality where they're rewarded for being antisocial. Do you know how much I could sell cocaine for? Whoa, pretty good, 400 reals for a gram. Nice work. So they're hungry. But I'm more familiar with boys and teenage. These young boys are hungry for validation, for praise, for character. And if they're not getting that at home, they will go to antisocial kids their own age, sadly.
Boa noite.
Boa noite.
Meu nome é Juarez Costa, eu sou psiquiatra, mas eu também eu tenho meu mestrado e meu doutorado em psicologia na área de terapia de família e casal. Mas o
que eu gostaria realmente de perguntar e enfatizar é que em alguns dos slides o senhor mostrou uma coisa que me chamou muito a atenção. A influência do ambiente familiar no desenvolvimento da estrutura cerebral. Eu talvez seja um dos psiquiatras mais velhos aqui, que eu estou vendo, e infelizmente na época em que eu estudei, não sei como é que está hoje, as áreas eram muito divididas. Ou você estudava neurologia, ou você estudava medicina e psiquiatria, com uma ênfase nos aspectos orgânicos, né? Ou você estudava psicologia com a ênfase em aspectos emocionais internos e não emocionais interrelacionais. E quando o senhor mostra que há uma mudança no desenvolvimento da estrutura cerebral, especificamente o senhor mostrou ali a amígdala cerebral, né? Como resultado de uma intervenção social, né? Psicossocial, talvez esse seja um dos aspectos mais importantes, né? Porque, infelizmente, aqui no Brasil, nós ainda trabalhamos de uma forma muito separada. Psiquiatra medica, psicólogo trabalha com aspectos emocionais, social worker, assistente social, trabalha com as inter-relações sociais. E o que o senhor está trazendo aqui, passou rapidamente ali a palavra sistêmica, né, que fala em sistema, em partes que interrelacionadas se transformam em algo maior do que a parte sozinha. Então, talvez, para mim, o ponto mais importante que o senhor trouxe aqui, pelo menos para mim, é a importância, né, de que nós possamos ter um trabalho multidisciplinar que inclua profissionais de diferentes áreas, cada um com suas especificidades, né? Mas que possam trabalhar em conjunto e dialogando com os pais, porque senão acontece aquilo que é tão comum aqui, que todos nós conhecemos, encaminha para um profissional psiquiatra, encaminha para um profissional psicólogo e etc., né? E a criança e a família ficam perdidas, né, nesse meio. Precisa traduzir? Você traduz? Consigo?
No.
Okay. I said that I am a psychiatrist, but I also have a PhD in psychology.
Wow.
My theme was family and couples therapy. And I said that probably I am one of the oldest professionals here, maybe. And in my time, unfortunately, we learned everything apart. If you were studying medicine, you were going to study only the body. If you could go to the psychology school, you would study the emotional issues, but the internal emotional issues, not the relational emotional issues, the social relational issues. If you were a neurologist, you'd learn about the development of the brain. You would study how to be a neurosurgeon or something like that. Né? And one of the most important things that you taught us today, at least for me, when you showed a slide where you said that a change in the social environment would have a result in the development of the brain. You spoke especially about the amygdala, and there are many other structures in the brain that change when you change the environment. And that's what I want to say. And I would like to ask you, in the UK, how the professionals learn? Are they so apart that they are in Brazil, or you have something that put them together?
Yeah, I think the psychiatric training does include quite a bit of biology, brain studies, stress hormones. Everything nowadays is inflammation. I don't know if you have that in Brazil. Schizophrenia is related to inflammation. And there is now quite a lot of interest in the gut, brain, as I was saying, that the connections between the microbiome and really has a direct effect in this direction, not just in that direction. But I am probably even older than you. And when I studied medicine, they were completely separate. Was it Pascal who talked about the mind and body-mind completely separate? I think it's coming together a bit better now. And I haven't seen the medical school about medical disorders, but there's interest in psychosomatic conditions, how unhappy people can be, you know, what Freud would call hysteria. There's more interest in that. And medical students are taught communication skills. They are videotaped, how to make a good relationship, and told this is important to listen to somebody about their distress. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm completely with you. The connection between body and a mind they're the same thing, really, aren't they? I had an uncle who would say, Stephen, go running, mens sana in corpore sano, a healthy mind in a healthy body. That could make you feel better as well, a sauna.
Agora? Eu só quero esclarecer uma coisa que talvez ajude a pergunta dele e o que o doutor falou. I just want to say something that maybe helps with his question and something that you said about my work. Eu sempre, mesmo quando eu atendi crianças com essa demanda, eu sempre atendi com orientação parental. Eu nunca atendi uma criança com essa demanda sem fazer treinamento parental. E isso, para mim, sempre foi imprescindível, e quanto pior o caso, vamos dizer assim, mais frequente a orientação de pais. Já teve caso de uma criança que eu atendi que com 2 anos foi expulso da primeira escola, com 4 anos estava para ser expulso da segunda escola, quando as pessoas me procuraram. E eu fazia um atendimento por semana com o casal, fazia um atendimento por semana com a criança junto com o casal, de orientação de como bem parecido com o que ele gravou ali, de como eles vão ali brincar. Então, eu intervia no brincar, no interagir com a criança semanalmente. Então, nunca fiz esse tipo de coisa sozinha, assim, só atendendo a criança. Porque, como eu sou analista do comportamento, a gente acredita nessa coisa que são as bases, né, que ele trouxe do reforçamento positivo, reforçamento negativo, eu acredito muito no poder do ambiente. Então, eu não consigo fazer um trabalho com criança sem mexer no ambiente da criança. Faz parte do que eu acredito. Quanto à questão de pessoas mais velhas, eu tenho caso no consultório de pessoas com transtorno antissocial. O que eu acho que acontece quando vira adolescente e adulto? Eu acho que daí, embora eu faça também orientação com esses pais, para tentar dar um pouco de limite, um pouco de, né? O que eu acho que é efetivo, aí é o trabalho com a pessoa. Que aí a pessoa, né, ou o adolescente, ou o adulto, precisa querer mudar. Não é um milagre, não é tão efetivo quanto criança, mas dá para ter um resultado muito bom em termos de pessoa sai de uma situação, sei lá, de muito prejuízo social, né, para as outras pessoas, obviamente, e dá para melhorar bastante, mas aí eu acho que precisa a pessoa querer. Então, na minha experiência clínica, eu acho que a diferença está aí. A partir do momento que os pais não são mais a coisa mais importante, né? Eu acho que daí você precisa trabalhar mesmo com a pessoa, sendo adolescente ou adulto, pelo menos do que eu vejo no consultório. Sorry.
Can you summarize that briefly?
Sorry. I just said that I've never worked with this kind of children, only the children. I've always done parent training also.
Yes.
Together. So I don't believe in results with children if you don't train the parent. And I said also that I believe that maybe when they are adolescents and adults, because I have adults that I've worked with and I have now that are antisocial behavior. So I believe that in this case, you can do parent training. I do sometimes, but I think when there are not children anymore, the important treatment is with the person, because in my results, I have more results with the person, the adolescents, and because they have to want to change just a little bit. It's not a very good, excellent behavior, but I think you can do, and then with the person, because the person needs to want to change.
But they need to want to change, yes. Do you have those bad jokes about how many people does it change a light bulb? How many psychologists and psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? One, but the light bulb has to want to change. Yeah. Same thing. I'm wondering actually if we shouldn't let people stop now and go home and have their dinner. It's been lovely to be here, but it's been more than 2 hours. So
eu queria ver se a Cibele tem mais uma proposição, pergunta, e acho que finalizaremos.
I'm fine, thanks. I don't have more questions.
Eu queria fazer uma pergunta que não tem muito a ver com o que foi colocado, sobre técnicas de meditação. Se o professor tem alguma experiência em ensinar, em treinar as crianças ou os pais usando técnicas de meditação para manejo das crises e da maturidade emocional da criança.
Well, Carmen wants to know if you have any experience with meditation, teaching meditation for children and parents, how to deal with aggressive crises.
no. But I do teach calming down techniques in the heat of the moment, which is not the same as meditation.
Ele ensina técnicas.
The lovely idea.
What kind of techniques?
Calming down, just count to 3, do something. Rather than being angry with the child, go and do some vacuum cleaning. But but we should probably stop, shouldn't we?
Então, acho que podemos encerrar. I'd like to thank you for the brilliant talk. Agradeço a todo mundo que compareceu aqui, né? Mostrou tanto interesse. E eu acho, olha, tem muita gente perguntando se foi gravada a palestra, como que pode acessar.
Vai estar disponível posteriormente no YouTube da Sociedade de Medicina e Cirurgia.
So this talk will be available in the YouTube channel of the society.
Fame at last.